Let me get this thing out of the way here. Okay, all set. Good morning, everybody. I'm Rich Gaitis, Executive Director of the City of Chicago's Office of Emergency Management and Communications. Today, we are here to assure residents that the City of Chicago has services and resources available to help residents cope safely with extreme winter weather conditions. We remain committed to public safety, and OEMC is dedicated to keeping Chicagoans safe from dangerous conditions by coordinating the city's response efforts to weather emergencies. To ensure the city is prepared for the winter season, OEMC hosted a winter workshop in November with public safety infrastructure and various city departments and agencies to plan the coordination of operations for the winter season. We worked directly with the National Weather Service on weather-related issues that include winter weather advisories, winter storm warnings, snow squall warnings, extreme cold, amongst others. Throughout the year, OEMC monitors conditions in partnership with the National Weather Service, coordinates response efforts with city departments, and issues notifications to residents regarding any advisories, warnings, or emergencies. With colder temperatures expected to arrive early next week, we want to ensure that our residents are prepared for the cold weather conditions, encourage everyone to use caution and factor in potentially hazardous driving conditions on the streets. Additionally, OEMC hosts twice daily conference calls with our citywide partners to stay connected and adjust resources as needed. These standing conference calls happen 7 days a week, regardless of what is happening in the city, to ensure situational awareness amongst our agencies. OEMC issues text alerts and notifications across several platforms to keep residents and businesses up to date on weather conditions and emergencies. Residents can sign up to receive notifications at chicago.gov/OEMC, and they include Notify Chicago, Chi Lake, and Chi Biz. We encourage you to create a Smart 911 profile this winter to provide 911 and first responders with emergency information specific to you and your household that can get you the help you need in an emergency. Profiles can include information on medical conditions, important household information, pets, emergency contacts, and more. To create a profile, visit smart911.com. As the city braces for the winter months ahead, it's critical for residents to take care of themselves and to look out for each other. We encourage you to check on your neighbors, family members, pets, and friends, particularly those who are elderly or have disabilities. Staying connected is key to being safe. Before leaving the house, please be mindful of forecasted cold temperatures, snowy precipitation, and high winds. Motorists should take extra precautions to winterize vehicles and have necessary supplies on the go. Taking preventive action is the best way to stay safe from the risks associated with winter weather. For those seeking shelter from the cold, call 311, visit 311.chicago.gov, or download the Chi 311 app to be connected with available services and to learn about the city's designated warming centers, which you'll hear more about next from the Department of Family and Support Services. For information on winter weather preparedness tips, I encourage everyone to visit OEMC's website, chicago.gov/OEMC, and follow us on social media. I'd like to thank all the City of Chicago departments, agencies, and organizations, from our call takers and dispatchers to our workers who are out in these extreme, sometimes extremely extreme temperatures and weather conditions. We all come together to keep Chicago safe, not only during the winter season, but year-round. And now I'd like to introduce Mark Sanders, Deputy Commissioner from the Department of Family and Support Services.
Thank you, Director Gaitis. Good morning. My name is Mark L. Sanders II, and I'm the Deputy Commissioner of Workforce and Human Services for the Department of Family and Support Services. I'm happy to be here today joining our city leaders to announce the services that DFSS will be providing during the winter season. To ensure our residents are safe during the winter, DFSS will provide assistance to our most vulnerable residents with the help of warming centers and timely responses to well-being check requests. During the winter months, DFSS works with more than 50 delegate agencies to guarantee that homeless individuals and seniors in our communities remain safe. DFSS activates these warming centers at the city's 6 community service centers when temperatures are at 32 degrees or below freezing. Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., Older adults can also access DFSS senior centers during business hours if they are in need of a warming center. One DFSS facility, our Garfield Community Service Center, located at 10 South Kedzie, is open on a 24-hour basis to connect residents to emergency shelters. DFSS also reaches out to shelters that typically operate for 12 hours to remain open for 24 hours during extreme weather conditions to provide services such as short-term stays, food, showers, and warmth to clients. DFSS also manages outreach teams that conduct well-being checks on vulnerable, unsheltered residents during cold weather. These teams make home visits to check on older adults and others experiencing difficulties during the cold. If you see someone trying to survive on the street or in other public venues, or if you know of a friend or relative who may need assistance, please call 311 with the location of the individual. Our providers know to promptly notify us so that we can quickly follow up and provide the required assistance. In addition, by calling 311, you can also request well-being checks. In instances where our DFSS facilities are not open, there's a network of city facilities such as police stations, libraries, and park district facilities that are available to residents, ensuring a space where people can go to find relief from the cold. Please remember, it is not illegal to be homeless, and DFSS cannot force anyone to go indoors or accept shelter. DFSS would like to remind residents to refrain from bringing propane tanks to encampments to ensure the safety of the residents living in those encampments, outreach workers, and others. One small propane tank can blow up a 3-story building. We encourage individuals to request well-being checks and connections to shelter. Transportation to a shelter is available to residents who need assistance. If you or someone you know is in need of shelter, dial 311. That simple call could save someone's life. A list of community service center locations can be found at chicago.gov/FSS. That's chicago.gov/FSS. Information and flyers containing warming center information in English, Spanish, and Polish are also posted on DFSS's website at chicago.gov/FSS. Again, prevention is the best tool that we have. Please remember to check on the older adults and vulnerable people in your life. Now I'd like to pass it to Commissioner Stollard with the Department of Streets and Sanitation.
Thank you, Deputy Commissioner Sanders. Good morning. I'm Cole Stollard, Commissioner of the Department of Streets and Sanitation. At Streets and Sanitation, safety is our top priority during the winter storms. In fact, we start preparing for these winter storms in the summer. This includes our friends at AIS maintaining a fleet of over 300 snow vehicles, so we are prepared to respond to snow when needed. Last season was the first year we fully implemented the turn-by-turn snow routing system, which allows for real-time tracking of the percentage of completion during snow clearing programs. This program allows DSS to measure efficiencies and quickly identify any issues within residential snow removal so we can adjust our resources. We also have more than 400,000 tons of salt stationed at salt piles throughout the city. Each year we monitor weather before and during the storm. We work with our weather services and tools like Doppler radar, cameras, road sensors to watch for snow and ice, so we can get ahead of the hazardous conditions on the roads. We also adjust resources before and during a snowstorm based on what is happening on the streets. Please check our Department of Streets and Sanitation Facebook and Twitter accounts for deployment updates. For this season, Streets and San also has an enhanced snowplow tracker for residents, which is new, which can be accessed at chicagoshovels.org. With the holiday season approaching, we'd like to remind all our residents that the overnight parking ban went in effect on December 1st. Again, with the holidays coming in and people coming into this town to visit friends and family, we'd like to remind everybody and take this time to remind everybody, December 1st, the overnight parking ban was in effect. Parking is restricted on 107 miles of the city's main roadways between 3 a.m. and 7 a.m., regardless of snow, April 1st, from December 1st till April 1st. The city implements this ban to help ensure that all roads are safe and passable for emergency vehicles, public transportation, and other travelers getting to and from. Please double check all the posted signage before you park to avoid being ticketed and towed. I'd like to give a special thank you to all the city departments and staff who work hard at keeping Chicago safe moving each winter. Lastly, we're excited to talk about a snowplow announcement tomorrow, so please stay tuned. At this time, I'd like to introduce Tom Carney, First Deputy Commissioner for the Department of Transportation. Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you, Commissioner Stollard. I'm Tom Carney, First Deputy Commissioner of the Chicago Department of Transportation. As others have mentioned, safety is our top priority this winter and every winter. That includes ensuring residents can safely get to where they need to go. We want to remind all Chicagoans about the importance of promptly shoveling sidewalks after snowstorms. Keeping Chicago's 7,400 miles of sidewalks clear of snow and ice is everyone's responsibility. Not only is it the neighborly thing to do, but it's also the law in Chicago. Property owners are required to clear a path at least 5 feet wide on all sidewalks adjacent to their property, including any crosswalk ADA ramps. If you are responsible for a corner lot, you must remove snow and ice from sidewalks on all sides of your building and from corner sidewalk ramps. This applies to residential property and business owners. Snow should not be shoveled into the right-of-way. That includes CTA transit stops and bus pads, parking spaces, bike lanes, bike racks, divvy stations, and any other space where snow impedes traffic of any kind. Individuals found pushing snow into the public right-of-way may be subject to citation. It is important for the safety and mobility of all users of our right-of-way that sidewalks are cleared promptly following major snow and ice events, especially for older adults and people with disabilities. If you see unshoveled sidewalks, please report it through the 311 system, either by phone or using the Shy 311 app. You can also use 311 to report any uncleared bike lanes. Wintertime maintenance of bike lanes is a collaborative effort between CDOT and the Department of Streets and Sanitation. Specifically, CDOT is responsible for salting and plowing the nearly 40 miles of barrier-protected bike lanes throughout the city. This takes specialized equipment small enough to clear and salt the lanes. And we have good news to report that we have added more units to our fleet this year so we can more efficiently clear the bike lanes in our expanded network. Additionally, CDOT is responsible for clearing snow off the sidewalks, off the downtown bridges, and the bridges on the Calumet River. A final thing I'd like to throw in here is that, CDOT and Streets and Sanitation and all the agencies, the workers are out there doing their jobs in difficult conditions. We ask the public to please use caution and safety when they encounter the workers. Oftentimes it's in the middle of the night, and we just want to make sure that everyone stays safe and gets home safely to their families. Now it is my pleasure to introduce First Deputy Fire Commissioner Mary Sheridan.
Thanks, Tom. Good morning. I echo my colleague's message to please look out for our most vulnerable residents and seniors during times of extreme weather conditions. I want to talk a little bit about just some safe things we all know, but we need to be reminded of. You should never use an alternative method to heat your home like the oven or stovetop burners. Those are extremely dangerous. If you're using a space heater, please make sure that that space heater is kept at least 3 feet away from furniture and bedding and other combustibles. If you're using an extension cord, that extension cord must be UL rated, and please never cover an extension cord with a carpet or rugs or anything. Should you have frozen pipes, please don't use an open flame to thaw your frozen pipes. call 311 for assistance and potentially a referral. While we haven't had any serious snowfall yet, we know it's coming. I echo Mr. Carney's words about clearing your sidewalk. Clear your sidewalk, assist your neighbors and senior citizens in clearing their stairs and their sidewalks. Please assist us in keeping our fire hydrants clear. Minutes count in the event of a fire on your block. And lastly, I implore every Chicago resident, please ensure that you're going to bed and sleeping safely each night with working smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors. I wish everybody a healthy and safe holiday season and winter. And I'd like to introduce Dr. Geraldine Luna. She's from the Chicago Department of Public Health.
Good morning, everyone. I am Dr. Geraldine Luna, Medical Director of the Chicago Department of Public Health. CDPH and the city advised Chicagoans to take preventative actions to stay safe when the weather is particularly bad. And as we all know, as the weather gets colder, COVID-19 cases start rising, as it already has, with other respiratory viruses surging as well this year. We all must take multi-layer preventative precautions, such as stay up to date with your COVID-19 vaccine, the flu, and pneumonia shots. Stay home if you're sick and get tested. Stay connected. Call your healthcare provider for COVID-19 or flu medications if you're sick. Timely medications can save your life and keep you out of the hospital. Stay masked in all indoor public spaces. On public transportation and at airports, stay ventilated. Keep a window open if you're gathering for the holidays. Stay clean and disinfected. Sanitize areas of common use and practice respiratory hygiene by covering your mouth when coughing with your forearm or a tissue, and wash your hands frequently. The Chicago Department of Public Health also reminds Chicagoans that the updated COVID-19 bivalent booster is widely available for anyone 6 months and older. And it's not too late to get your flu shot if you haven't gotten it. The new bivalent booster offers extra protection against COVID-19 Omicron subvariants. If you haven't had your booster this fall, you aren't up to date with your vaccines. We all need to do our part to prevent the spread of respiratory illnesses and help conserve scarce health resources in hospital already caring for COVID-19 patients. Chicagoans can find flu shot locations at chicago.gov/flu and COVID-19 vaccines at chi.gov/COVIDvax or calling 312-746-4835. Now, very quickly, the remarks in Spanish. Buenos días. Yo soy la doctora Geraldine Luna, directora médica del Departamento de Salud Pública de Chicago. El Departamento de Salud Pública de Chicago y la ciudad aconsejan al público que tome medidas preventivas para mantenerse seguros. Cuando el clima está extremo, a punto de congelación, limite su tiempo al aire libre, use ropa abrigada y esté atento a signos de congelación e hipotermia. El clima frío del invierno significa que más gente se van a reunir en los entornos encerrados durante las festividades, con personas que no pertenecen a su hogar. El Departamento de Salud recomienda usar una máscara cuando esté congregado en reuniones donde no conozca el estado de vacunación de las otras personas. Estamos nuevamente en medio de un repunte de COVID-19 y otros virus respiratorios. Debemos tomar precauciones preventivas de varios niveles, como manténgase al día con sus vacunas contra el COVID-19, la gripe y la neumonía. Quédese en casa si está enfermo y hágase una prueba de COVID-19. Manténgase conectado. Llame a su proveedor de atención médica si está enfermo para obtener medicamentos contra el COVID o la gripe. A tiempo, estos medicamentos salvan vidas. Manténgase ventilado. Mantenga ventanas abiertas si se está reuniendo con otros en los días festivos. Manténgase enmascarado en todos los entornos encerrados públicos, en el transporte público y en aeropuertos. Manténgase limpio y desinfectado, desinfectando las áreas y común y practicando la higiene respiratoria, cubriéndose la boca al toser, con el antebrazo un pañuelo desechable y lavándose las manos con frecuencia. El Departamento de Salud también le recuerda a los habitantes de Chicago que la vacuna de refuerzo actualizada bivalente de COVID-19 está ampliamente disponible para personas de 6 meses en adelante y no es demasiado tarde para ponerse la vacuna contra la gripe si aún no lo ha hecho. El nuevo refuerzo bivalente ofrece protección adicional contra las nuevas subvariantes de Omicron. Si no ha recibido un refuerzo este otoño, entonces no está al día con sus vacunas. Todos debemos poner de nuestra parte para prevenir la propagación de enfermedades respiratorias y ayudar a conservar los recursos de salud y camas de hospital que ya se encuentran escasos por la admisión de pacientes con COVID-19. Gracias. And now I'll pass it over to Charles Graham from People of Gas.
Thank you, Dr. Luna. And thank you to the Office of Emergency Management and Communications and all of City of Chicago officials and team members for hosting and taking part in this important event and for inviting People's Gas to be here. The safe and reliable delivery of energy to heat Chicago homes and businesses is our top priority at People's Gas. Our highly skilled crew members maintain and modernize the system every day so that Chicagoans have heat when they need it most on the coldest winter days. And our crews are prepared 24 hours a day to meet any unexpected winter challenge, so should one occur. There are also some simple steps that People's Gas customers can take to help ensure safety and reliability at their homes and businesses. If you smell gas or think a gas line is damaged, leave the area immediately. And from a safe location, call People's Gas. The number to call is 866-556-6002. That number is also on our website at peoplesgasdelivery.com. Never use a stove or oven to heat your home. It could lead to carbon monoxide poisoning. Have your boiler or furnace inspected regularly and make sure all natural gas burning appliances have proper ventilation. Make sure you have working carbon monoxide detectors and smoke detectors and test them regularly. Understand the dangers and symptoms of carbon monoxide. If carbon monoxide poisoning is suspected, get everyone out of the house and call 911 or emergency medical help for assistance. Keep the area around your furnace and water heater free of clutter and flammable items. If your gas meter is located outside, we ask that you gently remove any snow or ice covering it, either by hand or with a broom, and remove overhead icicles to prevent them dripping water from freezing on your natural gas meters and piping. Keep your walkway leading to the meter clear for accessibility in an emergency. For any Chicagoans struggling to keep up with bills for their heat, People's Gas is here to help. Customers may qualify for financial assistance. Bill payment assistance is available through the Low Income Home Energy Assistance Program and also through Share the Warmth program. To see if they are eligible and can apply, People's Gas customers can contact the Community Economic Development Association. Their phone number is 800-571-2332, and the website to go to is ceda.org.net. That's CEDAORG.net. People's Gas also will work with any customer to arrange a payment plan that best fits their needs. We can also set up budget billing that helps keep bills stable from month to month. To discuss these options, customers can call People's Gas or go to peoplesgasdelivery.com. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, People's Gas. Also not with us here today is ComEd and AIS. They're also good partners, and I think Commissioner from Street and Sanitation mentioned it. They support our fleet program and make sure that our equipment is up to standard, so we appreciate their help. and ComEd as well to keep all our critical facilities up and about, and we appreciate their efforts as well as People's Gas. So we have a really good partnership there. Any questions?
Guys, I apologize, I'm sorry I came in late. I turned the voice and asked from Channel 5. Can you talk a little bit about the Notify Chicago program, the cell phone notifications? What kind of information people can get from that and why they should sign up?
Well, certainly, and Notify Chicago, it's not new, that's been around for a number of years. We'd like to have more people signed up for it. I think the news media does a really good job of giving current weather conditions, but I think we have our own customers, if you will, that people that may rely on that service as a notification process. So we take a lot of effort and pride into trying to get emergency alerts through Notify Chicago as quickly as we can, as quickly as we are notified of a situation. In this case that we're speaking of today, weather. So blizzard conditions, icy conditions. Lakeshore Drive is something that we sometimes gets overlooked because it's not considered a major arterial. However, you will get about 160,000 vehicles on Lakeshore Drive, and we urge everybody to use caution when driving Lakeshore Drive. You don't have to have snow coming down on Lakeshore Drive that creates whiteout conditions. That would be one notification, but also it can get slippery up there in times like even today. So we just want to make sure everyone is using caution when utilizing Lakeshore Drive in particular. Another thing that we monitor is ground conditions. So if our ground temperatures are above freezing, that's something that Street and Sanitation puts a big effort into it. And I know I expanded upon your original question. I just think it's important to get the message out there from this platform.
I'm glad you did, and I think I'd like to expand on one other thing. You said watching out for each other could be the key to making sure everyone has a good winter. Expand on that a little bit, how little things can really help the big picture.
Yeah, and that rings true for really everything that we do on a daily basis. It could be hot and sunny. It could be extreme cold temperatures. The more we communicate with each other, the safer city we're going to be. So this is a message that OEMC rings throughout the course of the year. But we appreciate you bringing up that question and realizing the importance of staying in touch with our vulnerable population. And as Deputy Sanders had brought up, our vulnerable populations, those who are on the street, it's not illegal to be homeless. We're going to look out for all of our residents and stay connected to all 240 miles of the city of Chicago.
You mentioned Lakeshore Drive, and I saw the picture of 4 plows running side by side. When a motorist encounters a plow like that on the street, what's the advice to the motorist? Of course, it's get out of the way, but maybe talk a little bit about why that's important for not only the snow removal effort, but for the drivers.
I'm going to hand it over to Commissioner Stoller in a second here, but one thing I just want to bring up too, 2015, we had what we call up here the Super Bowl blizzard. We were expecting, and we received information anywhere from 3 to 6, then it was 4 to 8. It turned out being almost 20 inches of snow that the city had received on the day with really not the type of notice that we're accustomed to. So this happens. So we have the ability to escalate our plans as needed throughout the course of the day. And this is sometimes happens minute by minute, monitoring these types of situations. Commissioner?
Thanks for the question. We call that running tandem, and we try to do that when traffic's a little lighter. But as we're going to say, we're going to echo this message of just safety. When you see the trucks, just continue your speed. Don't speed up. Try to stay away from them. Know that we're shooting salt out the back to try to keep these roads safe and passable. As I mentioned, the safety vehicles, the fire trucks, the police vehicles, they got to get to and from the buses. Our goal is to keep these streets safe and passable at all times.
For the fire department, are space heaters still the biggest problem that you're seeing in the wintertime?
Our Office of Fire Investigation investigates each fire and it tries to determine that cause. And then we effect a campaign in the proximity of that fire, letting the neighbors know, what to do, what not to do. I wouldn't speak to say that space heaters are the biggest cause of fire. I think the biggest battle that Chicago Fire Department faces is working smoke detectors and working carbon monoxide detectors. I don't know if space heaters cause all the fires, but I do know that smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors give the residents the alert, the ability to safely evacuate, and they save lives.
I don't mean to monopolize things here, but I do have one person doing that. Dr. Lee, you mentioned that, is it the recommendation of the Department of Public Health that we be wearing masks in indoor spaces, whether or not we've been vaccinated?
Yes, wearing masks at this point because we are median risk, moving very quickly to high risk in community levels, places us at risk. People with vulnerable conditions should consider extra layers, which are optional, but very highly recommended to everyone, which is keeping the mask, staying home if you're sick. All the others that I have recommended is applicable at this point, more than ever, because we're surging in different respiratory viruses, and COVID-19, again, it's on its way up. Thank you.
Anybody else besides Charlie? All right, everybody, Merry Christmas. Have a safe holiday, and